say the title again and then put that at the end.
My real estate agent tried to sue me for $50,000.
What? Tell us more. I mean, to kind of segue into real estate, because that's one of those fields that I don't know a lot about. So I'm actually a little excited to have you guys here. And feel free to, if I ask something stupid, say something stupid. Because I do be asking some very dumb questions. But let us know a little bit about your upbringing. Where are you guys from?
Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah, I mean, basically how we got started was, I don't know. I mean, we always wanted to start a business and, make a lot of money. Obviously, that's why we're in business, is to make money. But, we were just talking on the phone one day and we were just thinking, like, what's the best business model that can pay out a bunch of money in huge lump sums? And, we thought about real estate. And my thing is, I didn't want to be like the average, well, I don't want to call it average, but I don't want to disrespect anybody, but I didn't want to do nothing super complicated. I feel like fix and flips are super complicated. Only because
too, man, like work, because unless you outsource all that work, that's probably
and then it's like the property can look really beautiful on the outside, and it can appraise for a nice amount, but it's like once you're in it, you don't know what's what got to get paid for, what got to get fixed. So it's a bunch of what ifs, a lot of unknowns. So I didn't want to do that. Basically, we looked at certain areas that I felt like were big markets, and I guess I could talk about the Traverse City project, right? Yeah. So that was our first project. We found vacant land off the water. It was actually the last lot available, and I guess you could say, I was kind of thinking like a developer, because we can build on this lot, and it was a bunch of $1 million homes in the area. So we're like, okay, this lot is what, like 200,000, and we could build it and it could be worth a couple million. So basically we ended up hiring an architect. We hired an architect. We got in connections with a builder, and once we got that connection, our realtor, he was like, you know what, why don't we just list it as a to be built? And I was like, well, I think that's a good idea, because sometimes all you need is just a visual. Sometimes the buyer just need a visual, So we had the architect draw up these, and I could show you the pictures on the screen, but you could, the architect built up, well, he drew the floor plans, and just kind of gave the buyer a visual. And a couple weeks later, we sold it for $100,000 over the asking price. And once that money hit, we was like, okay, yeah, this is the business to be in. This is what
we got to do right here. Yeah. No. I mean, to kind of touch a little bit, and again, because I don't want to pretend to know that I know more than what I know. When it comes to like buying properties, whether it's like you said, that property was along the coast or near water, right?
Yeah, Traverse City.
So kind of here in the southeast region of Michigan, I've been here for 14 years, and I've noticed that a lot of people are beginning to buy houses around. My parents live in Southwest Detroit, right? So It's right by the new bridge that's being built. What do you guys happen to know why that's such a high interest area for people to kind of come in and buy places? When historically for the last 20 years, there's been the houses that you can swip up for like $5,000, but now like my parents' neighbor's house that was bought from him was remade and flipped. It's going for like near $200,000 now, which is crazy. Like how did this house that go from like it was worth $10,000 7 years ago, now it's $200,000? Like who controls those numbers?
Yeah, it's all in the appraisal. I mean, you got to look at the appraisal value, the area. What were we talking about? Detroit or
Detroit.
like Metro Detroit?
Just southeast region.
Southeast.
Yeah, of Michigan.
Wait, remind me on what's the Southeast region?
So pretty much, I mean, anything that engulfs around, Detroit and the surrounding cities, I feel like has been. I mean, I guess it can just be a result of Detroit coming back from being bankrupt,
Right.
but like, why is it? I don't know if why is a good question, but the sudden high interest of companies coming in to buy properties, is that something that's like a unusual, or is it pretty common? Just or is it the first time that we see it?
It's pretty common. I don't know about the big companies. I don't know too much about that because we're still like the small guys in the business. But yeah, I mean we do see a lot of like big companies buying up like all the single family homes. I noticed that a lot more. Like they're buying up a lot of single family homes and listing them for rent. And I think it's probably messing up I don't want to say messing up, but it's kind of complicating, like the small guys like me and you to buy properties, because they're, they want so much for these properties, so.
I mean, the house that we're in, I don't know how much, I'm allowed to say here, but I'll keep it vague, Mario. Like,
Sure.
Mario here, he spent, what can I say, years essentially looking for a home. And he would always be getting outbid, and and he had all pretty much qualifications, top to bottom, but the outbidding became a thing in the last couple of years, and it's like, what's going on? Like, I mean,
cash
it's
is
not
king,
like
really.
Right. It's not like exponentially the population got bigger. It's been about the same for the last 4 years, but like now we have this demand, which I think it died down a little bit because I don't hear outrageous people or like outrageous bidding going on. But what's one of the things that got you guys into real estate? I mean, you talk about kind of not wanting to find something that's too like you said, flipping. Is that like, was that the biggest drive of like I want to find something that doesn't require too much, I guess, physical stress?
Yeah, I just wanted to look into something that was like because I'm a people person. I didn't want to. I could barely change the light bulb. So I didn't want to, do anything that involves like manual labor. I'd rather just hire somebody to do that. But yeah, Traverse City was a huge success, and I think what's more interesting is because a lot of people that ask me questions on how to get started in real estate, and they ask me, how can they how much money do you need to get started, and I usually just tell them, I mean, you do need a lot of, it depends on the type of property you buy, but I mean, essentially you do want to have enough money, you know what I'm saying? I always tell people you never want to go broke to make a deal happen, even after you buy it, you still want to have a cushion. So the money, how I acquired the money for the Traverse City property, I was working at the Postal Service and, retirement, I was able to cash out. This was during COVID too, so they didn't have like a big penalty on taking against your TSP. So
yeah, I remember the 401ks too. A lot of people were kind of pulling from that during COVID.
Yeah,
because they're like, the IRS was like, oh, we're not gonna penalize you.
Yeah. So
that's what they say. Then
they started some shit with that.
Funny you say that. I think I'm part of the people that took a lot of big risks because you gotta understand, COVID took a lot of. Well, it flipped a lot of things upside down.
Right.
So I feel like it pushed a lot of people to go, like, you know what? Like, in any given moment, anything can, happen. So why not actually try to go for what I've always been kind of hunting for?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I ended up changing career. I was at a job for 8 years. And then the COVID happened. I was like, you know what? I don't think this is it. I want to do something else. Something more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Which, it varies from person to person. But when it comes to real estate, or just kind of like you said, you worked at the post office, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions of just doing real estate? Like, what's something that most people kind of fail to see? I know you mentioned about kind of advising people, like, if you want to get into it, have some bread. but what are some of the biggest misconceptions of getting into it? Or just a feel in general.
What do you think? Misconceptions.
As far as misconceptions, I feel like a lot of people think it's a lot more complicated than it really is. And I feel like it really just depends on what you're willing to do. Because a lot of people, they see like the outcome, but they don't really see what it actually takes to get to that outcome. Right. Yeah. You know, because a lot of what we do, it takes a lot of time and energy and dedication. You got to want to do it.
Right. I mean, kind of falling back to like the project you guys talked about, Traverse City, like, you know, people would see like, oh, you know, the numbers, for example, you know, what you paid and then asking price. And they're like, oh, it's like they tripped and fell into that. No, but I would imagine it has a lot of unseen hours from the public of, you know, staying up late, phone calls, setting up meetings, research alone. And it's easy for people to be like, well, I want to do that. It's like the misconception that it also might be probably, would you say people think it might be too easy when in reality it's not?
Once you're in it, it's like with anything else. Like, you're not gonna have all the answers. You know, when you want to start something new, you're not gonna know everything. So, you know, for us, you know, we just kind of learned as we went. And, you know, just like with Traverse City, I mean, the biggest challenge was just coming up with the money. But once, you know, because I already had $20,000 saved up, and I took out the extra $20,000 from my retirement, and I just placed a big parlay bet.
This man said, all the chips.
Playing roulette, huh?
Yeah, I just placed a big parlay bet on this property and was like, hey, I hope it do something. So, I mean, the risk taker in me would say go for it.
Right.
But like I said, you want to have a decent amount of cushion. You know, I wouldn't say don't cash out. Like if that's like your only livelihood, I wouldn't do what I did. You know what I'm saying? I was just, you know, I was just so ambitious. I just wanted to just go ahead and just go for the gusto. But yeah, once you're in it, once you're in the business, and once you know, put the money down for the down payment, you're going through the paperwork. I mean, you kind of just learn as you go. You know, it's not really, it's only so much you could learn from interviews, reading books, talking to people. You have to go out there and do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very, very good point of like people just assume that when you take a risk, right, you always want to have the upside happen, but in real life that doesn't happen all the time. I guess I can say partially that you feel like you probably got a little lucky with that bet, or you think it was like, no, like I have this hunch of like it's gonna work.
I always say it's a blessing. It's a blessing because you always gotta you know give it to the universe. You know, but I mean, you do some sort of strategic planning has to happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what you're getting yourself into. You have to know well, what's going to happen if it don't sell.
Right, the consequences of the
you
action.
have to look at the pros and cons, and you know, yeah, I feel like, you know, out of all the properties that we had, you know, even the Chicago property, but we could talk about that later. Traverse City is probably like my most proudest because, you know, that was our first property. You know, we just kind of was like, hey, we just want to develop on a property. What's crazy is we didn't even get a chance to break ground on it. You know, Traverse City is so high, and this is, you know, a tip for anybody that want to buy real estate. I would look in Traverse City. Ann Arbor is pretty good too. But
I've heard of Ann Arbor being pretty good.
Yeah, but anywhere where there's like water, like you know, obviously Traverse City got, you know, East Dam, West Dam Bay, Lake Michigan. Anything near that it's always gonna go up.
Now, would you think that applies to like smaller towns too by the water? Because I personally have a town up there at north that I personally love called Manistee. I don't know if you guys ever been to Manistee.
Yeah.
And it's like it's one of those like, damn, like this is Michigan. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you're in the South for some reason. But to kind of not because we like to deviate a lot. But I still have this thought, you know, train of thought in mind. So like kind of staying on risk, right? So obviously anything in life, if you take a risk, there's, you know, sometimes an equal opportunity of it might not working out. But successful people have to take risks. You know, and one of the things that I've had either with, you know, with my girlfriend and Mario as well is it's always people are always so easy to judge. on the stuff you do, and especially the stuff you fail at. But when you win, they're like the first one to be like, I could have done that shit. Right. It's like, why did you do it then? Like, what do you mean? Like,
man, you wasn't shooting with me in the gym.
Right. Like, you weren't in there when I was signing my life away with them papers, you know? And again, but I think it goes down to like sometimes people don't like to see success, and I don't know what it is. It's like people just hate now, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the thing about risk, is that you can apply that to everything, even like approaching a girl and talk to her. That's a risk. And there's people that live in this of like, oh man, I'm only single, and my life's not getting better, but that don't change anything.
That's
it's
true.
Like, come on, like.
Yes, you have to take risks. It's like and I'm a big believer in I read books like 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And I read books like 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, Ask and It Is Given. So I'm all about manifestation, but you have to put in work. You have to strategize. You have to see what you're doing in order to get that return. You know what I'm saying? So you do. You got to take the risk to get that reward. Yeah,
that's one of my biggest things that I hate from certain people is like, man, like I wish I could win the lottery. They never buy a ticket. Like what do you mean? Like life's just not gonna magically fix itself. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how. Again, I know you kind of told me that you guys are kind of starting out at least in your career, or would you call it career? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How well are you guys? Because again, I don't know anything. This is literally genuine questions that I have. Do you guys know anything related to the housing crisis from 2008? Of what happened in that aspect?
Man, I could tell you where I was in 2008. I was sitting in my living room playing Halo. I didn't know anything about real estate.
I don't know if you guys seen the memes of like, man, I shouldn't have been playing around in 5th grade and bought a house.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
I should ask my parents for my allowance.
I should have told my parents to just do better. Like, buy houses.
Or a parking lot.
Right. Oh man, downtown.
I know.
Imagine some people are banking money.
Oh yeah.
God.
Talk about an instant lotto.
Jeez. Especially nowadays, man. Like we went to an event a month ago, and it was $45.
Oh yeah, downtown. That was,
bro.
It was like how.
Anyways, that's a whole other conversation. When it comes to like, I guess I would consider myself a tenant, right? I live in an apartment complex, whatever you call that, right? If based on the current situation that we have in the country, at least speaking for the U.S., because our podcast is listened to in other countries. Ironically, U.S. is not number one. What would you recommend people do in 2024 right now? You rent or you buy if you're living?
That's a good question. I could tell you, me personally, and the conversations we've had. Right now, I would just rent.
That's what I'm doing.
Rent. Yeah,
I'm failing.
I literally just renewed my lease last week.
Although the interest rates did drop, I think 6.5% as of now, which is okay. And I hear people talk about, well, back in my day, 30 years ago, interest rates was like 15%. Yeah, but the economy wasn't as booming as it was back then, So I feel like that's the misconception.
And then you can buy a house with like 3 bags of Cheetos and shit.
Right?
Like, come on, bro. Talk about struggle here.
Yeah, but as of right now, though, I would just rent. That's just me. I just can't see myself plunking down unless it's the house that I really, really want, right, and it's only for sale. But I just can't see myself plunking down like so much money as a down payment. You know what I'm saying? And paying for the taxes and all that stuff right now, and this with the interest rates how it is right now, it's kind of uncertain.
Now, when it comes to like the market and just stuff in general, when it comes to real estate, is having different like political parties in power, does that make any difference on the market or no? Whether it's good or bad?
I believe so. I'm not a real big political person. I know Kayla, she's the political scientist.
She's like, step aside.
she has a degree in political science. But no, I can say this. I know not to get too political, but I know if Trump was in office,
It'd be a little easier.
I know he'll put the pressure on the Fed to lower them rates. Right. That's for sure. Because when he was in office, everybody was eating.
I mean, that's when you bought a house, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, COVID.
I know. Thank you, COVID. That was crazy. But yeah, no. I mean, just little eggworms of that. Oh, Mr. Sigma Wolf, man, you've been awfully quiet. What's going on?
I'm here. I definitely agree. When we had Trump in office, everybody had money.
But what about you, though?
What about you?
What about you in office?
Whenever
we can do this. We can run this back. We'll do another debate.
Run it back.
Okay.
Pull up the music. No.
I'll do it.
But yeah, no. Do you have any questions? I'm hugging up the microphone.
No, so I guess for me, when going back to kind of like how the market is now when it comes to inflation with house prices and things like that, because I bought this place, I'd say relatively cheap compared to everything else. Like down the road over there, more than double what it was. Yeah. Like that's a little odd. It took them forever to sell that house too, and I think some schmuck actually bought it at that price, and now they're selling it again. So don't know how that. Yeah,
schmuck.
I use that word sometimes. I like it, but like, do you think it's still? I guess when rising prices like that, is it still going to be a thing in the near future, or is it starting to die down? Because I can look at any website like Zillow or something and check like, oh, your house is maybe worth this right now, and I'm like, is it though, or how does that really work?
I feel like I don't think the prices is gonna drop like drastically, but I do feel like it will be a correction. A correction got to be made. People our age, it's so hard to buy a house. I mean, I know from experience because I was looking to buy a house just a couple of years ago, and it's just the interest rates are just so high. It's so hard to just get your foot in the door.
Thanks, Biden.
I can't say the same. No, I got fortunate with my interest rates. I kept it where it was, and it's lower than what it is now. So I'm like, okay, it's not moving on me. Thank God.
Nice.
I'm thankful. I kept it. Yay. Yes. I did my homework a little bit.
So bless you.
I'll take that. But like, is it still a kind of a thing where I can look at, I guess, my value, my home value now? It's like, oh, I see sometimes a website's like, oh, it's 40 grand more, or 50, 20 grand more. It's like, would I be that kind of person who looks at this place and it's like, you know what, if should I just jump the gun and just sell now or some? Not saying I will.
But you got to buy one too.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, because what's happening, it's like, do people take that money and run? It's like, okay, I'm gonna go buy a house. It's like 50 grand more than what it is now. Because even my parents are like, they want to downsize, but they know they can't do it.
Right.
So it's like, okay, when would be the best to do it?
To be honest, it's kind of hard to say. I wouldn't sell, me personally. I wouldn't sell right now, because you never know. Like, if you sell and then the interest rates do drop, not drastically, but if it drops, it's like, okay, well, damn, I could have actually made more money. You get that remorse.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would just say, trust your gut, really, at that point.
Yeah.
Depending on whatever your situation is, you trust your gut.
Oh yeah, and just to let you know, Brian, I'm not selling. It's fine. I'm not doing to drop that on you. The studio's not going to be going away. You're okay.
We'll be good for another season.
I think so. I think we'll be all right. I got you. I know. And you've been thinking about you're looking into a home, right? At some point?
I was till I saw my lease and I was like, renew.
Have you ever had a bad tenant?
Bear it out.
Yes.
Drop names.
Yes.
Social security numbers.
Yeah, we could talk about we could talk about this, because this is crazy. This gonna blow your mind. So this is at our current Chicago property that we own.
Oh shit.
And you Chirac. Yeah. So basically, so we're renting out the bedrooms. When we first started, we were renting out the bedrooms to just regular people. this guy, he comes along. I'm not gonna name any names, but this was like during the winter time.
Thomas.
It was Thomas.
It was.
But yeah, we you know, we drove up to Chicago because, you know, we self-manage our property in Chicago. So, you know, well, back now we have a building manager that kind of like, you know, looks like handles the move-ins and the move-outs or whatever. But back then, you know, we were, you know, anytime somebody wanted to move in, we would have to drive up there. So, yeah, which is crazy. But yeah, we had moved. So we moved this guy in the wintertime. You know, it was crazy because when we met him, you know, he seemed like he was so sweet, so cool. Like, he was like, oh man, I'm gonna take care of your place. Like, don't even worry. You're young, you're black just like me. Oh my God, you're the best, bro.
Narrowed down the pool.
So he sent, so, you know, I felt comfortable. You know, this is me, you know, being us being beginners, you know. You know, we let him move in, and, you know, he paid us because, you know, our tenants pay us through like Apple Pay, Zelle. Most of them pay through Zelle. But I guess with this tenant, he had a certain limit, so he could only pay half that day, and he was going to pay the other half the next day. So I said, okay, you're cool. You know, you can move in. You can move in now. Here's your keys. Just pay us the other half tomorrow. Okay. So he's like, okay,
3 months later.
So the next day, you know, I'm calling him. He blocks me. Right?
Nice. Great start.
He blocks me, and I'm just thinking, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, maybe his phone might have died.
Block, bro. Not with a block.
So we have a Ring camera on our property, so we could see him entering and leaving on his phone, just chatting it up, laughing, ha, whatever. And I'm like, yo, did this dude just block me? And I'm calling from like different numbers. He actually answers, but then he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. No, don't worry. You know, I got to check the, you know, Zelle or whatever. So, you know, a couple of days go by, still no payment. We get a complaint from one of the roommates next door to him. And he's like, yeah, bro, I think the guy that you moved in, he's stealing my mail. He stole, what he said, like $500?
Yeah, and Amazon packages.
Yeah, he stole like Amazon packages from people. This was like the first week. And I'm just having like a mini heart attack because I'm like, bro, what do we just like get ourselves into?
Now you're dealing with a liability.
Right. So I'm like, oh, maybe I have to come up there.
It's crime HQ out here now.
Did
that get solved, or is it still going on right now?
It's solved now.
We'll
but
drive up.
I'm about to tell you the story. So we ended up getting to the point where we got to evict you now. It's like a month late. A month has passed. You still haven't even given us the second half of the payment, and you stealing shit from our tenants. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? So
damn it, Thomas.
So when we threatened to evict him, he sent us like the lawyer came out of him. Like, he was just like, yeah, in Chicago, I don't know if this is how Chicago works. Chicago is more for the tenants than they are for the landlords. So, for example, if you move somebody in during the winter months, they can stay rent free between November to April. And you can fact check me on this. Everybody, the sheriffs told me, the lawyers told me, they have an ordinance in Chicago. They can stay during the winter months for free.
I know where I'm going in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, if they have a signed lease, basically they have immunity. If they have a signed lease, you have to pay all them. It's better. You'll get lucky if they just move out on their own, which essentially, you know, he did later, you know, but that was like 6 months later, you know what I'm saying? 6 months of like no money coming in. But yeah, you know, the eviction lawyers are all booked up. Chicago courts is like 3 to 4 months out, so it's like
by the time they get to you, it's like, well, they already did 3 months.
Yeah,
right. So, you know, we got lucky with this guy because after the 6 month, I already had it. Like, I was like, look, bro, I just brought a Range Rover, and like come on now, that Range Rover not cheap, and you about to make me like really crash out on you.
Well, it looks like an insurance claim. Oh, I crashed into my own property. How that happened? Oh, you were in the couch? Damn.
Yeah,
Writes
so,
down.
so yeah, we got lucky with him because he ended up moving out. We actually got video footage, but I probably won't even post it.
Send it to us. We'll fucking blast it.
You had to get a lawyer,
He
too.
wasn't my tenant.
Yeah, so that's best case scenario is they move out. Another option is you can even offer them cash to move out. Like, hey,
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
You pay him to move out of your joint?
only in Chicago, only in New York, and L.A. or California. California is bad too. They got those.
California don't even got people living in homes. What are we talking about?
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
It's
they're all
nice
fucking
outside.
It's so nice you can just slip on the street.
Yeah, but they call it cash for keys. So if you don't want to go through the trouble of hiring a lawyer for like $5,000 to kick him out in 6 months, you could offer the tenant cash for keys. Here, I'll pay you $3,000, just move out, let me have my stuff back, and let me get a better tenant.
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the nightmare.
Gambit, I think
That's the ugly side.
Bro. This is like a move
Remember
in
when we
Chicago.
even
real
offered
quick.
him another place to stay and he declined that?
Yeah, we
Wow.
tried that. Yeah, he was a
Wow.
menace.
God damn. Kevin, man.
I'm telling you, it just makes me think it's so much weirder than I knew it was. Chicago's bad drivers, and now you can live there free and do whatever you
I
want.
like
This is
Chicago,
weird.
but I like to drive in and drive out.
Yeah.
There's something about it. I don't know. It's a nice city, though. It's such a shame where, like, some cities like that, or like you said, New York, too, right?
Yeah.
They have, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand why they set certain things in motion, like, hey, let's protect the tenants, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But, like, those people that are, like, the system abusers, man, like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, there should be a list, like a blacklist of, like, hey, when am I metaphorically, not literally, of, like, people that, they've done this 4 times in a row. So you know what I mean? Not necessarily like like they're not allowed or they lose the right to, but like kind of like shit, they got to pull our credit for something, right? Why not keep track of that shit? He's been evicted 3 times for staying in, and when you pull I guess you can call it a little more like the credit system that China got. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that sucks, though, man.
yeah, all of those states are like that though. Like like I said, New York, California. It takes them like almost a year to evict them.
It's like-
Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it
feels like
it feels like it.
I mean,
It's-
if you think about it, if it generally takes more than a month, that's a month free. Like,
Yeah.
like anything more than that is like they're winning.
all right.
Now I'm getting furious.
They even give them an extra free month if they show up to the court hearing too.
Wow.
what?
Yeah.
It's enticing. What the heck?
You know what's crazy, right? So, like I said, I live in an apartment complex. So, I've been living there for over a year, probably. I know. And always first of the month, I might not have something to eat, but guess what? Rent's getting paid.
Got a place to stay.
Right. And like I hated that 4 or 5 days later I get an email like, hey, just a reminder to all residents. So I'm like, I pay my shit already. What do you mean all residents? This should be like exclusion and like a list of people that pay that. It's like, well, what do we have to come to that? But then again, people's priorities are different too. Like,
Yeah.
and again, people go through different things. I'm sure you got single parents. People living even probably worse than check to check, but people that ruin it for everybody, man. Because it's like because it could have been just a generally good person that they paid you the next day, and maybe the next month they struggle to pay, but like they're actively trying. Not just a straight up like they had a plan. He had a plan, like off the rip. Like I'm gonna give him
He
half,
planned it.
and this is like 6 months of rent.
Yeah, they call them professional renters.
Wow.
Shout out to my uncle.
What a pro.
Been living rent free since '89.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's the ugly side of real estate. That right there. That's probably is I don't want to say as low as you can get, but that's one of the
That's like essentially worst case scenario. Somebody living in your stuff for free,
Right.
and costing you money on top of that, not just the time, but
right.
additional.
Because you still got to pay for the utilities, the mortgage, all of that stuff. So yeah.
That's horrid. Are there any TV shows or movies that depict real estate or entrepreneurship that you think is really well done, or maybe like just trashing the whole kind of topic?
The Big Short.
There you go. There's one.
Movies. I know TV shows. I don't know if you guys heard of Undercover Billionaire.
I feel like I have.
Undercover
I
Billionaire.
think was that on CBS at one point? I feel like
I've
that
heard
It was
Undercover
on
Boss.
Discovery.
Oh, it was on Discovery.
I've
Yeah.
heard the premise of it, of like people that like get thrown into like zero rate and they have to make money back. Is
No,
that it?
almost. Well, it was they basically like they send you out to like a random location. You only get $100, a cell phone, and a vehicle, and you have to make $1 million in I think 90 days. Yeah, 90 days. And Grant Cardone, I'm a huge follower of Grant Cardone. He was on there, and he's like a big real estate guy. But he I think all three of them hit their mark, $1 million mark within 90 days.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, I think again, I'm a poor person speaking in what ifs, but when it comes to like the discussion of millionaires, for example, right? We always like to think that they're like this different kind of human, which, you know, some of them are, you know. There's like your Elon Musk that's like a little like cuckoo, but he's highly successful, right?
All right.
So like, is it truly like, do you guys think like you're born to be successful or you can become successful?
Well, you could be born. Yeah, it's both. Because you could definitely be born into money.
Right. But that doesn't mean you can keep it. And a lot of people that I've seen is like, oh, you know, people are born to money. That's like they got a golden spoon. But keeping money is hard.
Yeah, that's
If
the
not,
challenge.
Yeah, if you're not like, you know, educated well enough or, you know, kind of guardrails were set in place, you can also blow through that money real fast.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I give props to like people that can keep kind of like you know, down the road you guys have kids, you know, and they not just maintain the business, but they grow it. Like that takes a lot of education, you know, raising them.
Yeah. It
just
takes
mentoring.
discipline.
Oh yeah.
I remember with the Traverse City deal, when we made our first 100,000. It was like we you know, we went like on a shopping spree. You know, it was like many Louis bags later, many 5-star resort trips later, and I'm looking at the account. I'm like, oh shit, we gotta buy.
We gotta do it again.
We still gotta buy another property.
Right.
So yeah, it definitely takes discipline. You gotta know like, okay, this is how much we're gonna spend, but you know, I mean, want to have fun, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and it got to be a nice balance, you know, because like I was literally telling my girl yesterday because she began collecting like like, you know how people just collect like Lego sets and, you know, action figures and stuff like that. And she was kind of having doubts of like, you know, is it morally okay for me to be doing this? It's like at the end of the day, if something is bringing you joy and you're not being irresponsible, it's not like you're taking money from like your rent to do it type of thing. Don't feel like you're wasting money, like, you know, like, yeah, like we can see things like, you know, you said Louis bags and stuff like that, like, yeah, you know, most people try to be holier than thou. That's because they can't afford it. That's poor people talk. You know, they're nice items, and two things could be true. It's like, yeah, they're materialistic things, but at the end of the day, like, they do give you a little bit of joy, you know, and people don't usually admit that because people like to say, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. I don't know, man. I'd rather cry in a Lambo. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to be depressed, I don't want to be depressed because my light's getting shut off.
Yeah.
I want to focus on the controllable factors out. Like, if you can live comfortably, and like you said, you know, you're well aware that you have to save money for the next property. Right. It's like, you shouldn't be also too fearful to, like, enjoy life. Like, and then, you know, if people try to tell you like, oh, you know, what you're doing is wrong, or they're like, again, people that keep wishing bad things on you, like, why if it's so easy, why don't you do it, huh? Like they don't have the remote, you know, they don't have the keys, they're not holding the wheel, and it's so easy for people to be like, I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have bought those bags, I would have just bought 2 more properties. I'm like, oh yeah, you would have? You weren't there, bro.
Yeah,
Thomas,
and that's a huge clapback to people because, like, you know, I remember when we first were first starting out, you know, obviously, like I said before, you're not gonna know everything, but you just got people in your ear. Because I have a big family, and you know, I receive a lot of support from my, you know, immediate family, but like a lot of I didn't receive as much support like on like the like cousins and stuff like that. You know, they so judgmental. Like, you know what I'm saying? They like, well, you should, because I've had people tell me like, oh yeah, man, you should keep your day job. You know, you shouldn't, you know, are you sure you want to get into, you don't even know what real estate is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know,
people, it's like, why are you not giving me positive encouragement, man? Like,
yeah,
support me, even if it's just like, you know, but if anything happens, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like, oh, you're not gonna be successful, you better keep your job. And it's like, why are you like this? Like, why can't we succeed? Period.
Yeah, so I had to face a lot of criticism with that, like, you know, like you know, just what we was talking about with the bad tenant situation. You know, I got so much criticism with that, like you so. Yeah, like they were like, you should have got a property manager. A property manager would have got that straightened away. They wouldn't. Actually, they would not, because the property manager, they still got to go through the same process as we would.
Right.
You know,
but now you're paying for a property manager.
Right,
so
right. You know, so a lot of people, they just talk, but they
right.
just don't know.
They don't see the moving pieces because they're not in your shoes. You know?
A lot of people got answers, but they don't have solutions.
Yeah.
You know,
or they have solutions to problems that are not even problems.
Right.
What they think it's problems.
Right.
Like,
so.
I mean, like, look at us. Like, you know, most people think that we just kind of come in here, fucking hit record and go home. There's like half of our week is this, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even though we only shoot twice a week. And it's, again, all those unseen works and stuff that they see behind the scenes. It's like, people don't see that.
Yeah.
But they quickly go like, oh, I can do it better.
And they have no idea.
I know, right?
Not
like,
a clue.
They're like working at fucking Burger King or something. Like, come on, bro. Really? All right, cousin.
Let me get extra honey mustard on that.
Yeah. Get some extra fries with that, cuz.
Teach you the ways of the mic. Are there cities now, because you've mentioned Traverse City, you mentioned Chicago, are there any other locations that you've ever considered getting into?
Grand Rapids is huge.
It is a good spot.
Is huge.
It's been getting more popular for sure.
Yep, Ann Arbor is huge, and this is just like in Michigan, you know. But yeah, those are the cities. I mean, I would stay away from Detroit. Detroit is already kind of oversaturated. Everybody bought up Detroit. It's not much money, from my experience. It's not much money left in Detroit to really try to profit.
Unless you buy literally like an empty lot, probably. But even then, you gotta probably cough up a little money for built and stuff.
Yeah, but if you buy an empty lot in Detroit, where in Detroit? You don't want to buy like a random empty lot and it's not making no money. Then you just wasted your money. You know, so it's like you know, I would stay away from Detroit. That's just me. But
that answers my next question. What cities should you avoid? Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
Yes.
Chicago, definitely.
Chirac.
Chicago, like I said, it's not for the small business owners like, you know, me and her. It's not for that. But I will talk about the upside. If we could talk about it, you know, how we turned that bad situation around.
Oh, we can talk about anything. We can talk about, you know, the cake that's I am.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the vegan cake. Yeah, the vegan cake. But yeah, so
staying on the upside, dead from the situation.
Yeah, so we turned that situation around because I was like, you know, how we need to make sure this shit doesn't happen ever again. Like with this bad tenant, people like moving in and just stealing packages and stuff like that from our tenants. How can I make this not happen again? So we came across the platform that I won't name on the podcast because it's still like, you know, we still in it, you know what I'm saying?
Do your work.
Yep, you gotta do your due diligence.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially we're getting corporate professionals. I'm gonna call them that. Corporate professionals as tenants. And these corporate professionals, they have you know, travel assignments, travel contracts where, you know, they could stay anywhere from like 60 days or up to a year. Yeah. And they get paid so much money. Oh my God. Like when we first started this, like, you know, when we first listed our property on that platform, you know, we got booked up in less than a month. We got 8 bedrooms in our building. Every single bedroom is filled up. Every tenant is paying between $1,150 and $1,300 a month. Wow. And that's just about 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
You know, so for a 3-unit building, because we have a 3-unit building, I don't want to brag, but I think that's pretty damn
Brag,
good.
man, you earned that shit. Come on, man, drop the hammer,
after
bro.
after all the criticism, after everybody judged me, all the
haters.
mistakes,
It's just
Suck
feels,
it. Keep
back
you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna make mistakes, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, okay, I get criticism, but it's like, okay, now you judging. It's like,
Right.
if you so good, why don't you do it? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's what I tell people. Like, if you literally prove me wrong, like that's what I like to tell people. Like when they like look at us and they're like, "Oh, that's easy, do it."
Yeah, do
Like,
That's
it.
true. Yeah.
Here's a mic. Like, you know, like it's always if you're good at something and then the more you learn it, you make it look easy,
Yeah,
which is not an easy thing to do.
yeah,
And again, like one of the things that I've noticed with people, and I mean, I struggle with that too, is almost not sounding braggy about like your successes. Like, it's like, why should someone be ashamed of their success? Like,
Right.
I'm not like, pulling out my phone statement and shit, but like,
right.
be proud of it. Like you guys work for it. Like that's not something that you should be ashamed to bring up or talk about. At least in my eyes, I don't know about y'all.
Yeah.
I can't
I
speak on
agree.
your behalf, but you gotta take the W because you know what? When you take that out, nobody's
Nobody
there.
cares. They
So might
gonna
as well-
talk shit.
And when you take that W, the people care, but they don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So might as well own it. Own that W, man.
Yeah.
Fucking haters. I forgot what we were talking about.
You said cake and then
No,
Chicago.
no. He was talking about
Oh yeah. So
turning the situation around.
yeah. So we turned that situation around in less than a month, which is like I'm so proud of us that we were able to do that. Because we're like the approach that we took. It's not a traditional approach, like and that's the good thing about real estate too. It is so creative. You don't have to compartmentalize yourself as a fix and flipper or as a developer. It's so many different parts of real estate you could do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be a wholesaler. You could do, be a real estate agent. You could be an investor. Everything. It's real estate is its own world. And
sorry to cut you off, but I was going to say, and one of the biggest things that you have going for you is the fact that real estate doesn't go out of business. Like people are
Sure.
always going to need somewhere to live. Period. Right?
all the time. Yeah.
Like I'm in a similar business. I'm in the business of fixing vehicles. That's never going to go out of style. Like
Right.
even if it's an autonomous vehicle, guess what? It's going to need to be fixed. Like
Right.
whether it's electrical, whether it's Tesla, whether it's a 99 pickup you got in your backyard, there's going to need a need for
Yeah,
fixing.
and
Right.
I
And
like-
that's a beautiful, because then you can get creative. Like you don't have to follow, like again, there's millions of books on how to do things. There's millions of videos,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still find your own way. And that's
Absolutely.
something that at least I'm getting from what you're saying. Again, sorry to cut you off. but
Oh, no, no.
I get excited,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited too. Sigma Wolf.
Every time.
Gambit
not-
is writing everything down for all them videos later.
Right.
Don't
But
let
not-
the system tell you which house you can't own.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Sigma Wolf's rise. Fuck you, Thomas.
I expect 4 clips
I'll
tomorrow.
let you have your that one.
Yeah, but no, what was I saying? I just lost. Yeah. So we turned that situation around. I would say, and this could be, hopefully, this could be some value to like, any aspiring real estate investors. Try to rent by the bedroom. You can always maximize, because just like we maximized our 3-unit building, instead of getting, because I'll tell you the history with our building. So, and I'll probably, hopefully we could pop up on the screen to show you what the building
You
look
can
like.
just send it to the podcast page, and he can bring it up in real time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just literally DM the Instagram, and
The
he'll pull
picture.
it up. He'll show it up on screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
Yeah, but our initial plan with that building, because the reason why we got into Chicago was because, we thought the market was big, which it is. It's a huge market, but Chicago is so huge. You got different parts of Chicago that sell super, super quick. And you got some that's like, it may take a couple of months. So the property, that we bought, it take a couple of months for, it's not like super desirable, but, it's okay.
It's gonna move.
Right, and our building is new construction, so we thought like, hey, okay, we got a fire ass deal, and this is us being creative. We didn't want to rent to 3 units individually. We wanted to sell each unit individually as condos because you make a lot of money. You sell each condo for like $250,000. You know what I'm saying? We would have already made our money back after we sold the second unit, and we had buyers. But I don't want to discriminate, but we had some cheap ass buyers. But
Thomas in the game.
No, we had buyers that had like real bad loans, and it was gonna make the process a lot longer. It was gonna drag out the closing process, and the building was vacant, and that mortgage is not cheap. And we just said, you know what, man, we probably better off just renting it out. We don't want to rent it out by each unit, but we might as well just maximize the space and rent it out each bedroom. Just rent out each bedroom, charge them $1,000. We were just kind of playing with the prices. Like I was like, let's see if somebody would take $1,000 for a small bedroom. Yeah. And we got booked up that same day. And then for a master bedroom, I think the master bed, I don't know how many square feet it is, but it got an in-suite bathroom and everything, so it's pretty nice. And we're charging $1,300 for that. That one got booked up the same day.
Now, is this like Chicago, like near downtown, or what area are we talking?
It's 15 minutes from downtown.
So pretty much like what if you look at Detroit, it would be like Allen Park, Lincoln Park to like downtown
exactly.
type of thing.
Exactly.
That's really close
Yeah.
to a city that big, dude. That's I think that's a steal.
That's pretty good.
That $1,300, dude.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you look at like New York, what you're looking at, like living in a box for $10,000.
Living in a
crazy.
closet. No bathroom. The bathroom is down the hall.
Bathroom is like the floor bathroom.
Yeah, New York.
I picture Spider-Man for some reason. Where's rent still?
Rent?
That's great.
But yeah, I was just saying like just hopefully this is a value. If you can, give it a try by renting out the bedroom, because we're in the type of times that we're in and the market that we're in. People are renting by bedrooms. People don't mind living in a bedroom with other people. I mean, rooming up.
No Diddy.
Not in the bedrooms.
No Diddy.
It's like Hey Arnold, honestly.
Yeah.
Modern day.
Oh,
You know what's crazy? So I had the fortunate and unfortunate luck of having to go to U of M Dearborn.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was attending, that's when they opened up their apartments, if that's what you even call them. I think that's,
They
technically.
were, yeah.
So across the street from U of M Dearborn, you have, I think it's still called the Union at U of M Dearborn, to where each apartment building is literally by room. So you have your unit, and there's either 4, 3, or if you're really rich, 1. Right, and I always found that out. I'm like, damn, like you people really do be out here. And this is like 11 years ago, right? So I would imagine since everything is more expensive now, it's probably a steal. Back then, it was like $700 or $600 a month. Yeah. And I used to think back then, I'm like, damn, that's stupid high. If that's still a thing right now, then that's a steal. Like $600 a month
for a student,
yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
I was just a lot more poor back then. That's cool that you can. Again, I hope you don't get another Thomas anytime soon.
Oh my god!
Because that would be
fuck Thomas.
Fuck Thomas.
Throw him away.
What's new with you, Gambit? You look a little sad, man. Sigma Wolves can't be looking sad.
Oh, false. That's a false flag.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's a whole other conversation.
Oh man, same old. Just content, pushing the movement.
Oh, we know that.
I know. What is this tour that I'm hearing of?
Oh, yeah,
what's going on here? You're going out there.
Yeah. Yep. So me and Whitney are.
Whitney Wasp for anybody listening.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Sigma Wolves movement tour, and
I love it. I'm already into it.
And it's not just gonna be music. It's gonna be us speaking about embracing nonconformity, pursuing your dreams. Just being yourself. Uplifting and empowering our communities, and also embracing your individuality.
It's a Sigma wolf.
As a Sigma wolf, yeah.
Dude, that's one of the best things I love in my Instagram feed. When I open my phone, I'll be in the morning at work, working, of course. And,
Gotta specify that.
Yeah. And I'll pull out the phone to check my important messages that I get, and that would be like at the very top, because I don't know if people that like to support other people. This is what I do. I like to favor people that I really don't want to miss stuff, because that's how Instagram really puts the stuff first. So like sometimes I feel like a creep because maybe somebody that literally like it would say like posted 7 seconds ago, and I'm like, damn, should I like it or should I wait a couple minutes? Because I don't want to be like I don't want to be slacking. But no, dude, there's something about your content that
I appreciate it.
I like it, dude.
Yeah, I was just telling you, like it's like I was just telling you last night, like that movement that you got, especially with the presidential thing that you got going on. it's genius because
we still got like 3 clips from last time you were here.
Yeah,
it's genius because it's like a whole political thing going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you might be grabbing people from that side to the Sigma Wolf awareness.
That's true.
That's true. We have a Sigma Wolf political party.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
dude, that should be the name of the party. Sigma.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how the wolf got involved in this. I want to start Sigma Gorilla, bro. Or Sigma 8, but ooh, that's a good one.
That's fine.
And I can't choose you. Yeah. Once you get the wolf side, really situated down pat, it's like, okay, where can you branch next? And it's like, okay, this can work and this can work.
That's true.
Then you're good.
Going back to real estate a little bit. One thing that I've never understood about real estate is timeshares. What the hell are timeshares? I always hear like all this again. I hear the commercials of all the regrets of people.
Oh yeah, it's like
Hey,
I will help you.
Regret signing for that timeshare in Florida? Call us now. Like what? What is that?
Timeshares, I try to stay away from them, but I do have a funny story about a timeshare. I was in Vegas, and before, so this I think it was Hilton. They reached out to me and they were like, you just got to attend this meeting, and the prices was like, to fly to Vegas, and it was gonna cover the room. It was like dirt cheap. It was like an offer I could not refuse as long as I go to this meeting. Right. So I flew out to Vegas, had a good time, met Nicki Minaj, Meek Mill. This was back when they were dating. It was crazy. Yeah, everybody was out there. This was during the Floyd, when Floyd was fighting Pacquiao.
Oh,
so that's when we went out there, and we had went to this day party, and like all the celebrities came out. Michael Blackson. Who else? Yeah, it was Meek Mill, Nicki Minaj, all of them. So anyway, we at the party, whatever, having a good time. I don't know if I was just like super drunk, but I guess I left my wallet, or somebody might have pickpocketed me, because I hear pickpocketing is real big in Vegas. So when we got back to the room, I'm like, oh shit, where's my wallet? So, and I'm like, damn, well, I gotta go to this timeshare meeting tomorrow. I don't have my ID. How am I gonna get back home? You know what I'm saying? So we went to the timeshare meeting the next day, and I didn't have my ID, and it was like, oh, you don't have your ID? Okay, no problem. Just just enjoy your weekend. And I was like, damn, that's it, because it's crazy because these timeshare meetings are like all day. It's like 6 hours long, and for them, like, I think I broke the cheat code. All you have to do is tell them you don't have your ID. You lost your wallet, and they'll just tell you, hey, just enjoy your weekend, and the prices are cheap. So
Damn.
Didn't hear from him.
Yeah, allegedly was not said on this podcast. We'll cut it out. No. Oh man, I've never been to Vegas. That's one of those cities I still got on my list. I gotta hit.
Vegas is beautiful.
With a limit on my spending card.
Hard limit.
Yeah, hard limit.
I'm trying to take her to Vegas.
You guys said you guys were engaged, if I didn't mishear that earlier, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How did that come to be? How did you guys meet? Real estate? That'd be pretty cool.
So me and her mom used to work together. Crazy story.
Oh, whoa, hang on.
Yeah, me and her mom.
I got a job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we used to work at a. Yeah, we used to work together, and her mom would always like come to me like on break and be like, "Hey, you're gonna be my son-in-law." Oh. And it's crazy because like
that's crazy.
Everybody's mother at that job used to be like, "Oh yeah, I gotta hook you with my daughter," and you know this person, you know,
it's like Tinder Plus.
Yeah, it was
doing
crazy.
the matching for you.
But I don't know. But this day, I was just so chill about it. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll give her my Instagram and see where we go from there. So
I didn't get his number, just the Instagram and his website.
It's like levels. When you're a guy, you get the easily accessible, then you get the phone number, then the snap, and then all the stuff you don't know about.
Yeah. So so she got my number. We met because actually it was crazy because you was out of town. You was in Jamaica when we were supposed to meet.
Bahamas.
Right? Oh, the Bahamas. Yeah.
Yes.
So we had, we was like, okay, well, I really want to see you. You know what I'm saying? So let's go out. And we had went to this place called Tom's Oyster Bar in Royal Oak. I don't know if y'all been there, but it's fucking phenomenal. It's the best. They got the best Spanish coffees. I don't know if y'all ever had a Spanish coffee.
No. Going to now. Sound good. Write that one down.
Yeah, it's really good in the wintertime.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
you gotta go into Wolfpack.
Yeah, so we went out to dinner at Tom's Oyster Bar. Had a real nice conversation. It was so nice. The conversation was so nice that when we first got there, it was so packed, and by the time we were done, we were the last ones to leave the place. So
that's how it's done.
When they're stacking up chairs around you.
Oh yeah.
The subtle
like
hints.
The subtle hint of like, guys, you need to get out.
Yep.
Yeah, and then on the way back home, it was a big ass blizzard, snowstorm. It was crazy, and I had a Mustang stick shift, and I was like doing donuts and shit, bro.
Unpaved roads.
Man, poor crowds.
But you showed skill, so it's okay.
Yeah,
you
got
the skill to
made it
home.
That's
good. That's good. And the rest was history.
Yep,
well, not yet. It's playing out right now as we speak. But no, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not engaged, but I'm sure it's in the pipeline coming up. I've been happily for 4 years now. I feel like it's gotta be coming up now.
Everyone gets claps.
What about you, Mark?
Let's not talk about that, please.
Happily newly single. No.
Yeah.
Newly single?
Yeah, 4 days single.
No, it was like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking.
The summer about to end.
Yeah,
I know. Goddamn. Yeah, and then that
She's
plot
like-
twist yesterday.
She looked at the calendar and was like, "It's his birthday coming up. I gotta."
It's in January.
Exactly. It's like I gotta miss the holidays. Like, no, time to save money now.
Yay.
But no, yeah, I don't think I have any more real estate questions. That was everything in my chamber. You guys have any other questions?
Come on, presidential candidate. I need
Mr.
to be swayed.
What are you gonna do for them when you were elected president? What are you gonna do to the real estate market?
Yes.
You want to know that, Gambit?
Let's see,
Yes, Gibson.
Lower the taxes.
Sold.
So what, bro? Gas? Like
My lot. That's what I want. I don't know.
lower the tax. Man, I thought Kamala Harris was fucking giving out vague answers. Yo, your answer was more vague than Biden being a Jesus.
Say make eviction easier for Thomas.
Yeah, we need to get the Thomases, bro. Use Thomas as an example. We don't want no more
Thomas
Thomas.
Act.
I hope his name is Thomas too.
Me too.
I was gonna say, what is real estate? I was like, what department does real estate fall under in America? I don't know. Like, we can get somebody to run that.
Committee, right?
The house is it the housing committee?
Housing administration. Gotta be something like
There we go.
Good, yeah.
Okay, we can get some people in that. We got this. Help them out.
Forgive all student loans, please.
Private too.
All loans, period.
Yes.
Fuck it, take the credit card debt too.
You know what? Fine. Fine.
Forgive it.
All mortgages forgave.
Any debt whatsoever. Just delete it. Oh.
Free reign in this country.
$10,000 stimulus check for everybody.
Oh shit!
Oh, good.
We back to that. I'm about to say, give me a few of those. They got me this house, so I'll do it again.
You
About
hear
to
that,
be a
China? You need to
Family reunion at Somerset.
Oh, my
Ooh.
goodness. That was crazy during the stimulus time at
Oh, it
Somerset.
Oh my
How
god!
was
Like,
it?
what was it? It was like lines. Like, you would have think it was like a concert or something at the Gucci store and like the Louis store.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
I must admit. I mean, I didn't get any of that stimulus money, so
Oh yeah.
I was considered essential.
by.
Get that fucking minimum wage bullshit I was making. Even though it was like $16 an hour at the time. I mean, 2020 $16 an hour is different than 2024 $16 an hour.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about. But yeah,
No, that was a brutal time.
it was a brutal time. Jesus
My
Christ.
god.
Mm.
Oh, quick!
Shout
I
out
don't
to
know how much time we got, but I did.
We can go on that.
forgot
if you
this.
want.
This was
we ain't got no
this
time.
was. I feel like this is a good story. This would be like a good clip.
Ooh.
My realtor tried to sue me for. My realtor tried to sue us for $50,000,
Interesting. Go on. Continue.
and you can guess where this was.
Chicago.
Chicago.
You wanted that? There you go. You wanted that. That's what you wanted. You said it.
That Taco Bell.
Yeah.
It was.
Do you not know we have sound effects?
See, the whole thing about the realtor stuff, I was like, I could totally just play this.
Oh,
We're ready. We're ready.
Oh, wait,
man.
say the
Okay.
title again and then put that at the end.
My real estate agent tried to sue me for $50,000.
Hey,
Tell us more.
Yeah, so quick story. So this is what happened. So at one point in time, we were trying to sell the building as a whole. It was going to be, we were going to sell it vacant. Yeah, the realtor. It's the program called the NACA program. I don't know if y'all heard of it, but it's actually a really legit program. It's really good for the buyers. It's a nightmare for the sellers. And the NACA program, you could do like 0 down. They give you low interest rate. I don't even think they give you. I don't even think they check your credit. Well, no, they do check your credit, but I don't think they go off of the credit score.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. It's called NACA, NACA. Yeah, but it's a lot of people know. Well, if you don't know, now you know. It's it's a really good program. But anyway, yeah. So our realtor kept bringing people that had these NACA loans, and the issue with that is they don't have to put any money down. So it was whenever we would get gosh, I'm messing up.
You're good.
So they had these NACA loans. When the realtor brought these buyers along, it was going to drag out the process. I think they wanted us to so the building is new. The building is new construction. They wanted us to buy new doors. I think it was like ventilator doors. They wanted us to make all these like crazy repairs, and it's like the building is brand new. We shouldn't have to spend anything.
Right.
And then the killer was, they use like their biased appraiser. So when they appraised it, it appraised for way less. And that was because, they, with NACA, sometimes they want you to, they want the buyer to be at an advantage and the seller at a disadvantage.
You
So
pull your teeth out one by one.
yes, yep. So it got to the point where once the building appraised for like way lower than we expected, we didn't want to sell it. We didn't want to sell it to you. You know what I'm saying? So we could find another buyer. So I told the realtor, I was like, yeah, it's not gonna work. We're not gonna make any money off of this. Matter of fact, we might have to owe money after we sell it. So, and I thought the realtor could understand. I'm not gonna name her name, but she was like,
we're talking about Lucy.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess she took that to heart, and the next couple of days later, I get a letter in the mail from her brokerage saying, we owe her the commission. Well, the commission amount would have been $50,000. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm not
living, check the check, Lucy.
So I was like, yeah, we about to fight this. So So the brokerage was like, so we owe you the commission amount. Her thing was, there's a thing called non-performance. Her thing was she brought an able and willing buyer, and we decided to not go with the buyer that she brought. That's why she wanted to sue us. But as a seller, you do have that right to not go with a certain buyer,
Right.
especially if you're not gonna make no profit.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I'm saying?
I would imagine it's like me selling a car. Like I can meet up and everything, have paperwork and title ready.
Yeah.
And literally until you sign it over. Nah, bro.
Right, but
like, it's not worth our time. Like,
But that's the thing. She was hungry for the commission, and this is hopefully another valuable tip. Vet your realtors like you would vet a tenant, because some of these realtors, they'll just tell you anything just to get that commission, just so you could sign your name on the dotted line, and they'll have you under a death row contract for 6 months or a year to to sell the property.
They'll have you under them Diddy contracts, bro.
Right.
Hey, us not signing the cancellation contract agreement was actually how we ended up not paying the $50,000. By the way, so
Yeah.
it's really key
Nice.
to read your contract.
Nice.
Yes.
Read
Terms and
your
conditions.
contract.
Don't skip them all the time, fellas.
Yeah, so that's how we got out of that. We ended up keeping the building. That's when we came across the platform that we used to get our corporate professionals to rent the rooms out, and they all pay $1,300 a month, and we make $10,000 a month. So, you know.
We need some air horns.
Oh yeah.
We'll add them eventually. But yeah, no, I'm glad to see you guys winning, and I know like anything in life, there's going to be challenges, but I hope that the biggest ones, like fucking Thomas, are behind you guys, and that you guys keep going. I'm really glad to see people making it out here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You too, man. You're gonna be president one day. Not this year, but
When you're
when
eligible.
you're actually qualified to be president.
Remember, make being Thomas being illegal.
Oh yeah, anti-Thomas.
Anti-Thomas.
As a matter of fact, deport all Thomases. Leave the immigrants here. They actually pay their rent.
Hell yeah.
So what the future plans look like? Are there any other locations that you've scoped out, or you're
Yes.
kind of like
It doesn't have to be specific.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't-
don't give out the
Yeah,
sauce
no,
too.
doesn't be too much.
Yes. So after finding tremendous success with this property in Chicago, we decided to expand. We feel like we can implement this same business model with renting bedrooms. We could do that here in Michigan. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Ann Arbor is one of the cities. Ann Arbor is actually a really good city. There's another city that I mentioned earlier, but I don't want to, I haven't tested that market out, but I want to be the first to test it out. But yeah,
All the real
Ann
ones are
Arbor,
gonna catch it.
but Ann Arbor is actually pretty good too. They're actually already doing that. They
Yes.
renting out the bedrooms for like $1,200 a month, and so basically so that's our plans. We're gonna expand. We could get another building. They could rent it out. They could rent the building to us, and we'll sublease it to our corporate travelers. So that way we don't have to put that much money down to acquire the building. Cheat code.
That's dope.
bam.
Bam, 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 bam. Talk about that shit.
Okay. Sure.
I don't know. But then, if you guys ever have a studio that we can rent for a good price, let us know. We need to move the studio somewhere else. I guess that's a question that I can ask. Have you guys ever considered having like other than real estate that's just for
like
living?
residential,
So,
yeah.
like business real estate and stuff? Because I see that all the time. Like, you drive past like a strip mall and you see like for lease or for sale.
Yeah.
Is that something you might consider down the road?
Absolutely, and I think Kayla, she can actually take this one because she's big on like events and stuff like that.
Yeah, so honestly, it is like such a huge marketplace for commercial property right now, because after COVID, so many businesses went out. Like they got kicked out, couldn't afford the rent because everyone was at home, social distancing. But honestly, ever since social distancing ended, like people want to party, people want a place to meet. And honestly, when we were planning our nonprofit event, literally every place was booked up. It doesn't matter if it was like in a bad neighborhood or whatever, every place was like booked up. So I think like why not repurpose the commercial space?
Yeah, no, and one thing that I've noticed that the area, at least in Detroit, around where my parents live, is missing, is like spaces for events to take place. Like we were just part of like a Southwest Fest. I don't know if you guys ever heard about it.
Yes.
So that,
Yeah, we was there.
Yeah, so that is in the Senate Theater, right? So like events like that, I always hear like they're popping off in there, and sometimes you have to go to other parts of the city to do those events. I'm like, why not? Like, why is somebody not coming in here and like just open up prime location of just it's strictly for events,
Right.
whether it's Monday through Sunday, any day of the week. Boom, this is the price.
Right.
Like I feel like that'd be a killer. Or like I said, a lot of people are starting projects like this. Make like maybe a studio that's just you rent it out to like different people and stuff like that.
That's a good idea.
I've thought about it because there's other people that you do. You take some of the back work of like people having to get their own space, but kind of rented it by day.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a session package, maybe like 4
Like,
hours.
oh
at a
man, when it
time?
comes
Yeah.
to producers, people that artists and stuff like that, you can easily book something out. I'm sure if you have like 7 events a month, I'll probably cover expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, real estate is creative. You got to think. You have a property. You have a place you could rent out to. This studio, like you said before, you can rent this out. You know what I'm saying? Charge them by the hour, charge them by the day, whatever. Real estate, you can get real creative with how you want to make your money with occupying your space.
Yeah, like one thing that I've seen that's taken off too recently, and there's not a lot of locations of is, again, I fix cars, right? So there's a lot of people that are like do it yourself, or like they backyard mechanics essentially. And I've seen places starting to open up like essentially repair facilities, but it's for people to rent out. So like on a Saturday between 4 and 3 for like whatever price, you come in, use the equipment and the lift. And now you have like a space to like kind of work. And then if you have that for people that can work on their backyard or they're living in an apartment, that's like a good alternative to not having, to fully depend on like, hey, I gotta take my car to the mechanic. And,
Right.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
There's a lot of creative things I'm sure you can do.
Yeah.
Again, it's all risk, like
It's all risk.
it's like, if you can do it and you sort of have a plan, but there's gonna be a ton of people to tell you like, oh no man, that's not a good idea. And then someone does it and is good at it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You'll never know until you do it, and you never want to. I got this saying that I always like whenever I'm like nervous or, if I'm unsure about something, I always say this one thing: you got to try before you die.
Yeah.
Because you'll never know.
Yeah.
You'll never know if you don't do it.
Yeah. The regret to not doing something is probably a lot bigger than trying and failing. Because I'd rather regret I did something than not nothing at all. Well, that's probably heavy.
No score.
Right. You miss all the shots you don't take.
Thanks, Michael. Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Dab.
Nice.
So that cake.
He really wants the
Oh
cake.
yeah. Y'all ready for the cake?
Trying to see that cake.
Oh,
Vegan cake and real estate.
We got to sing "Happy Birthday."
Oh yeah, pull up happy birthday. We
Oh,
got
the only thing we don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
the
Lighter.
The lighter. Do you have a gas stove, perhaps?
I do.
Oh, maybe we can.
You can.
Okay.
You are welcome to use that.
Okay.
Hey, somebody already used that before to light up a joint.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There is that. I have let somebody do that.
Yeah. Shout out to Tom.
Not like that.
Okay, do you want 4 candles or?
Yeah, let's not put one for every decade.
Man.
So what's going on with you, Gambit? What's popping in the goth community in Detroit?
Oh man. Tomorrow, the No Heroes house party.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be
just
super
keep that
sick,
in there. The whole row.
super lit.
Keep that.
It's gonna be raging.
Oh wow.
I thought you said call me racist.
Oh no!
What the hell?
Wait,
Wait,
no! What did I come back?
Raging.
Raging. Wait, what's raging? What the hell's going on?
I misheard. I thought you said call me racist. I'm like, what? How dare
Wow. All right.
you? Not on a Friday.
Tell us how you really feel. I'm telling you, it's the mentality. It's the Sigma mentality. Now he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna start doing things. Start going off the deep end here. Like,
No filter.
He's switching.
Those names, are those the viewers?
They are in a sense. I know,
They're,
like sometimes,
followers
but sometimes
and stuff like
that doesn't actually. Sometimes it's not accurate. Could be more, could be less.
Oh, okay.
Totally depends.
Yeah.
It's Twitch is a weird place, and sometimes it's never
Twitch is a little weird.
Because sometimes it'll say that many, but then we go maybe a day later and it's like this much. It's like where the heck were all those guys at?
Yeah,
that's so weird.
And a lot of Twitch is a platform where people tend to jump in and out, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
something that people normally just watch all the way through.
Which is bigger, Twitch or Kick?
As of right now, Twitch is still bigger.
Twitch is still
But
big.
Kick is like taking a good chunk out
And,
of Twitch.
Yeah, but I also think it depends on what you're streaming to.
Yes.
To be honest.
So if you're a very controversial figure, you probably got a good following anywhere you go. So if you go to like, Kick, it's more like the Raw, a little north of
Raw and uncut.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like-
they can go a little, next level on Kick, and it's like, they'll be all right.
Yeah, and to get banned on Kick is hard too. Like there's people literally like having sex and some.
Oh shit.
And they're like they get a slap in the wrist. You can't stream today.
Oh wow.
Come back tomorrow.
But then you got the like ASMR, streamers with barely any clothing. It's like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Done. Can't do that.
What is the flavor of the cake?
So the flavor of the cake is, it's vanilla. So the actual cake part is vanilla, and it's like some triple berry layers in there and some buttercream frosting. So it's like lit.
Yeah.
Sound good.
I've never had a vegan cake.
I know. I'm trying to picture. I'm trying to think of what makes it a vegan cake. What do they use?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like why is it a vegan cake?
Yeah.
So it's more so what they don't use, which is dairy and eggs.
Okay.
So it doesn't have dairy and eggs.
Right.
Interesting. This is gonna
How do
be.
you make the cake? But again, I drink a lot of like the zero sugar pop, and I always wonder like, why does it still taste sweet though? Like, what are you substituting this with? Now I don't know what it is. It's like it used to be sugar, now it's like.
Like, what are they putting?
Right, what are they putting in this thing? I should probably be more worried now.
It's America. They're just gonna do whatever they want.
So is this the first vegan cake? Is this the first vegan cake y'all about to try?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
easily.
Oh wow.
Easily.
Okay.
And the first time we've had a guest's birthday on the podcast /
Oh, nice.
celebration. Yeah,
It's been a minute.
Episode what? 142, 43.
We're at 143.
Wanna do that?
Hell yeah!
We've made it this far. We have cake now. Yeah.
Oh, pause.
No, funny. Wait, now I have myself looking up vegan cake recipe. I want to know
Vegan
what.
cake recipe.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know.
Well, that's
I wanna know this
a
stuff.
very good
Yeah,
question.
I don't know how to do it.
Are you guys fan of like Impossible Meats?
I am. Yeah. I like Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat.
Because I've had some Beyond Meat that it's like, if you put me on a blind test with some meat,
You wouldn't know.
I would
tell.
not tell the difference. Which is crazy because I used to be a really like a hater. I mean, I can say that, right?
Sure.
I used to be a hater of like, why they trying to be
Oh,
meat?
wow.
Oh damn, that was good.
Whoa! Holy moly!
Holy, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I didn't think it was gonna look that good.
Yeah,
And
that looks.
I am
quite insane.
I was proven wrong hard.
Nice.
So what's the whip? I mean, the whip, I guess, is not the vegan stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, it's all vegan.
No, I mean like in a regular cake, like the whip wouldn't be affected on the.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, so
'cause it's-
usually like the whip will be like made with like a dairy product.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like so layered up. Look how tall it is.
Damn, that thing is.
Right,
big.
you guys are ready?
I know.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the Sledge's cake we had. Remember?
We had a delicious cake about what, a month ago?
Not even. It was less than that.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. something like
Nobody's on a diet, right?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Not anymore.
I'm on a seafood
Watch your
diet.
sugar.
that. What? Since
The
when?
sugar-
Yeah,
sugar
I see food I eat.
vegan.
Shut the fuck up. Wow. Good one.
Bennett. We can say it, we're proud.
No, that didn't make no sense for that moment. No, that just aesthetically, I'm like, I don't want to cut that.
It's so
That's
nice.
like one of those things where it's like, man, I don't want to ruin it because it just looks so good. It's,
Which one's mine?
Alright,
Gambit.
you guys
Wait,
wanna
what did I
start
get? 2 trays?
passing
you took my tray.
No, I didn't take your tray. Don't put words in my mouth.
Oh,
Pause.
is somebody missing a fork, by the way?
I am missing fork. Thank you.
you.
I think I'm missing a fork too.
Oh man, I feel bad for those who only listen to our show and not
Oh, don't
watch.
worry. This is gonna be the first episode we start cut.
Uh-oh.
I could just end it now.
Let's try it on air.
Oh, just try it on air.
Let's try the first vegan cake on air.
Yeah, that looks. I'm looking. It's like
First
looks
vegan
like a cake. It looks.
I'll just careful, don't drop it.
I know, right? I'm like, wait, you know what?
That looks undistinguishable from cake.
I know. That's the crazy thing about it. I'm like, will this beat Tres Leches?
Oh, shit.
we
Here,
shall
have this
see.
one back.
It's almost like a strawberry parfait.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, but I just want to say thank you guys for allowing us to come on your podcast and just,
Absolutely.
give us a platform, because I actually had a lot of shit that I had to get off my chest with. 'Cause
Goddamn Thomas.
yeah, and this is my first podcast too. So, our first podcast
Won't be the
so-
last one. You guys are welcome.
Yeah, so the first 10 minutes I was a little nervous. I know I felt myself crashing out a little bit.
No,
But
don't worry.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
Hey, but again,
did good.
for being your first one, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
No, Gambit.
You get a good one. You get a good piece.
You guys all eating already? Or?
No, I was waiting.
We wait.
I'm being respectful here. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, you went for the smell test. I haven't even got that.
Dude, it smells like cake.
It smells like cake.
It's beyond cake.
Beyond.
To be honest, and I can't believe this is cake.
I know.
You want more?
no, that's good. That's good.
You sure?
I'm gonna eat the rest of it.
First of all, before I eat this,
Oh, wow.
I appreciate the cake.
Yes, we do.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah,
All
thank
do.
you, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy
one more
birthday.
time.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's actually something. Wow.
It's
Oh,
a
so
small.
you guys feeling the vegan cake?
Let me eat it.
It was a small token of appreciation for allowing us to, come
Absolutely.
on here and talk. So
Yes. Celebrate
That's
together.
Bro, ain't no way this is this good, bro.
The buttercream definitely does its thing. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
If this didn't taste good, I would be ripping it right now, just for the record.
You need a small one, Tony, now.
I was gonna say, where did you acquire this cake?
Yeah.
For the love of sugar, downtown Detroit.
You've been there, haven't you?
That is one of my favorite spots.
oh, you
And
I
they
know,
open
absolutely love-
late.
Are they really?
Yeah, they close at like 11.
That's the one that's like by that. It looks like it's an apartment building, right? But it's like at the bottom.
Yeah. The
And
mixed use. Yep. People, I think like the
I-
Wayne State
I-
students live on top.
I love that place because they also sell the and my girlfriend's a good lover of damn, what are they called?
Macarons.
Macarons, yeah.
Ooh, they have so many.
Oh, macaroons. Is that what they
Macaroon,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves those things, and oh my god, they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is lovely cake.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, I'm signing out, fellas.
We shall enjoy our cake and plug yourselves at the very end. Where
Where
we-
can
if
people find
you?
you, or Real Estate website, or anything you want to throw out to the world?
good thing about investors is we normally don't have a website, but me, I have an Instagram at Tonio Sledge.
And my Instagram is your tropic plug, and the your is spelled, kind of slangy. The UR tropic plug, because hey, let's be real. Not only do I do real estate, but I plug you with awesome tropic stays. Okay, all inclusives.
Ooh, okay. Last question, because now I want to know what are the like the underrated spots.
Oh,
I want to know. I mean, if I wanted to take a trip,
He wants to
So-
take the honeys,
So how long are you trying to be on a plane?
Oh shit!
Um,
As long as it's not Epstein's Island.
surprise me.
I mean, like, if you want something quick from Detroit and you want it kind of viral, I would definitely recommend Tulum. You can fly into Cancun. It'll be like a 3-hour nonstop flight, maybe about an hour, 40-minute drive from the airport. And, you can get your little viral on. But, I mean, Jamaica, you cannot go wrong with
You
Jamaica. You can't.
You really can't.
Great food.
Yes.
Lamon.
The jerk chicken.
Oh, I heard the chicken's good, dude.
And they're vegan friendly, surprisingly.
Nice. Now I'm like, how good. Now your Brian's all into it. I've always been like, I always look at places like Turks and Caicos, Maldives, and it's like, okay, how is it as good as advertised? And I'm like,
So Turks and Caicos, I'm gonna just be super transparent. It's really expensive. They barely have all-inclusive plans. It's mostly like European plans. So basically like breakfast and you're on your own for the rest of the day, But Maldives has like some of the most impressive like architecture. If you want like those over the water bungalows and basically those type of floors where you can look down and see like I don't know little fishes or hopefully not a shark, but
Well, I'll take the long flight to Maldives. I'll do that. I don't mind.
You know
I
how
would end. I can go
he
for it.
swims with the sharks? Fucking Thomas.
That's how we end it with Cake and Thomas. Just one more time.
Let me get Thomas a one-way ticket.
Oh yeah. Lastly,
donkey
before
of the year.
donkey of the year. Yes. Shout out to those guys. Oh my god. Nah, but we have one more plug. We need Mr. Future President over here. What future shows? Anything happening?
You already plugged while you were away.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did I?
Tomorrow we got the No Heroes house party show. It's gonna be I'm at the GGB house.
I ain't gonna lie, by the time this comes out, it's probably over.
Thomas is not allowed.
Fuck Thomas.
Already on the do not enter.
Put him in the legal aliens wall of shame.
Yup. All right, but we shall go and eat cake. Bye, everybody. We shall say.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
We all say bye.